So, as I was saying, I think the Foxy Pirate arc is one of the greatest One Piece arcs in
Oh yeah, for
history.
sure. Yeah. I
The
was thinking,
way,
they recut some of the arcs in the movies. They definitely need to make a
oh, for
two-part
sure.
film.
I
Yeah.
think he needs to be on the straw. I think he's going to be the 10th. Wait, hang on. Are we live?
Oh fuck, we are. Yeah.
Are we live?
Ugh.
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch. All right. Theme song.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding its horror, creating my destruction. Now I shall rain in blood.
And welcome back, everybody. This week we decided to go with a non-normie choice. I'm not gonna talk about it just because maybe you guys have already heard about it. The song that
Only
we chose.
non-normies will understand.
Only non-normies would understand the meaning behind the song. But today we're gonna be doing the One Piece cast.
Yeah, because Taz wasn't online, so
So
like,
we
hey.
thought it was a good opportunity to talk about something, that Taz can't, he's doing his whatever, he's playing Osu, maybe building $3,000 computer and yeah, whatever plebs do. I don't even know why he's still a host here. Where's Taz? Hashtag
Yeah, I mean,
where's Taz?
where in the world is Taz?
Where in the world is Taz?
It's fine. He'll
we're
be
still-
killed off. He'll be killed off in the season finale.
In
Anyway.
the season finale of Manga Alert, we're going to be picking a new host, so go ahead and apply now for
Submit
the
your
new host spot.
applications.
So anyways, dropping all the shenanigans, dropping all the bullshit, let's talk about One Piece.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who are unaware, One Piece is probably one of the few longest running shonen mangas currently coming out as we speak. What chapter are they on? Chapter 420?
Almost 900.
Oh,
it's like
4
880
Well, I was
or
close.
something.
420. I mean, 420. I guess would be the closest chapter, honestly. But anyways,
Yeah. And that's also one of the best chapters.
oh yeah, for
Obviously.
sure. But yeah, One Piece so far has become enjoying, to say the least. I'm not much of an anime fan. One of the few animes that I did get started with was One Piece. But I soon dropped it. I mean, it just, the filler to me got
yeah.
too, like, it was really overbearing with the filler. I mean,
Yeah,
there
and
were,
it's not that there's a lot of filler story arcs. It's just they drag things out to like insane lengths.
oh, yeah, as good as Water 7 is, I hate being on the fucking train for 20 episodes. That was just,
Oh my god, I can't even I haven't seen much of the anime, so I can't even imagine that. Holy shit.
it was bad. Like, it was legitimately, like, opening, like,
5 minutes
I guess
of recap.
I guess shonens just love to do that, the whole recap.
yeah.
Like, it has the opening, the recap, and then finally you get like 15 minutes of like staring at each other with music that you hear all the time, and finally you get a few points of dialogue, and then you get to the point, and then at the end it's like, oh, well, that's it.
Well, then you get an ending, and then you get a preview. and-
It's ridiculous. I hate it,
Oh, yeah.
honestly. I
Mhm.
mean, it's so overdone, but the manga is a little more fast paced. Like, you can
oh
read
yeah.
through it,
Oh, definitely for
no
sure.
problem.
Yeah, like right now in the anime for One Piece, they're literally adapting like 10 chapters per episode, or sorry,
Hmm.
10 pages per episode.
I mean, that's just like, that's not even a full chapter.
it's pretty much unwatchable.
Like, get out of here. Like, just
Hmm.
like, sure, the One Piece has some good openings, but like,
Oh yeah,
just
but they're also like 3 minutes long.
if I could do without an opening in an anime. Like, just give me the
Yeah.
content, and then do an ending theme or something. and
Like
that's
say
it.
you could put the opening at like the start of the season, and then maybe have like a shorter version for
Mhm.
the rest of the episodes.
Sort of like what Toonami does. I guess they have like their bumper
Yeah.
for the opening because they don't want to. They have to make sure that it's in the screen time that it is. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to go into open discussion about some of the various arcs. I'm not gonna be like, oh, what was your favorite character? What was your favorite arc? Let's just talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
So first arc in One Piece is East Blue, and once again we're going to be going through spoilers here. So we'll go ahead and leave a bracket in the video. So we'll make sure people aren't spoiled with what's going on. But East Blue is the first arc. It's it's your basic shonen arc. It's your introduction to the characters, the main crew. You got our main captain, Straw Hat Luffy, whose main goal is to become the king of the pirates. Along with that, he sort of has this mentor, which is Shanks, red-haired Shanks, a.k.a. Gildarts stole Shanks' fire, a.k.a. hashtag fairytale sucks. But anyways, basically Luffy sets out on a goal to make the best pirate crew, and also for his goal to become the king of the pirates. And so
the One Piece. So
we get our introduction to our couple of characters in East Blue. We have Zoro, or Zolo, who is censored in the
Zolo, yes.
the manga here in the States. He's called Zolo. Fun fact. Yep. But we got Zoro, we got Usopp, we got Nami, and we got Sanji. And basically in East Blue, there are a couple of like main mini arcs that are taking place. There is
introduce all the characters,
there's
give the backstories.
Yeah, so there's
which are all tragic and depressing
for the most part. There's the buggy arc. There's the Captain Kuru fight, which was arguably probably the worst one out of the bunch. Because it just took up way too much of a span of the East Blue.
There's and honestly, Usopp, I don't like Usopp all that much. I could have done without.
We got a hater, and then we got the Don Krieg fight, which is good, but it's the other things around it that make it good. One of the few moments in East Blue that I thought was pretty emotionally I attached myself to this character because he is just a badass was Zoro and his meeting with Mihawk.
Yeah.
I thought
that was incredible. Yeah.
Even though Zoro got his ass handed to him, I can't help but think that what One Piece does right is that it has a great sense of world building. The characters around
for sure.
The characters in One Piece are all unique and interesting outright. So it's like you even get like minor characters like Captain Kuru. There's no one else in One Piece that is like Captain Kuru. That's like the one that's like the one time you'll ever see someone that is that character. So
yeah, and like with the fight with Mihawk, like right off the bat, we learn that all the characters aren't like invincible, and that there are way more powerful people in the world. So we had like a lot more to look forward to.
And so it's funny because Oda has just a great sense of writing, and from what we are established in East Blue, I mean Jinbei got revealed in East Blue. I mean, when they were going through
he?
Yeah, when they were going through the Warlord when they were going through the Warlord discussion. And they were going to Arlong Island or Arlong Park. What's his face? Zoro's. They're not. I forget what their names were. The two swordsmen that were with Zoro.
Right.
Yeah.
I forget their names.
So
too.
when they recruit Sanji after the whole Don Krieg fight, they're basically sailing to Arlong Park because they're like, oh yeah, we need to get our ship back and we need to get Nami back. And so he goes into discussion. He's like, yeah, Arlong's the most feared in East Blue. And there's also a Fishman warlord, and they revealed the name as Jinbei. And they show like a brief example of like a shadow of Jinbei, and it kind of looks similar to the way he's shown in Impelled Down.
Yeah,
but
the foreshadowing in this series is fucking insane.
But that was like in the manga. That was like chapter like 30 or something like that.
This was like a decade before
Jinbei
showed up.
And Jinbei wasn't even revealed until like chapter like 400 or something, 400 or 500. It was some crazy shit like that.
It was like the same deal when we learn who Dragon is. Now he's Luffy's father, and then you go back and he was actually like the one who saved him at the end of East Blue.
Of course, yeah.
Before he got his head chopped off. And I went back. I was like, what the fuck? This was like 30 volumes ago.
So yeah, I mean, just the sense of world building and like the amount of development in One Piece is already so great. I'm actually going to rate East Blue as a whole, and then maybe if you want to talk about it, then feel free. Best fight is probably the Arlong Park arc, just because the sense of emotion. Again, it's tenfold with this one. Like with the whole Dawn
Yeah.
Creek fight, there was emotion there, but this one especially. I mean, Nami's backstory was interesting. The whole Fishman were still interesting to me. I thought that those fights were really cool. And again, Zoro coming from the fight with Mihawk, I mean, he's all beat up and shit, and he's just, he's still fighting. The fact that he was still pretty cool. Arlong himself as a villain, I mean, I think he was cool. I think Arlong was the definition of someone who's just pure evil and was just someone who's just a really, really good villain for the East Blue arc. So
yeah, like it wasn't anything too crazy, but for one of the starting arcs, it was he did the job.
For what it was definitely really good, that fight. So I'm gonna rate East Blue as a whole. A lot of the times people don't like East Blue. I mean, it's a very short arc. It's only 12 volumes.
12 volumes.
And it doesn't take too long, the pacing. The first couple volumes, I will admit, are really slow. Like I would say
it did. Yeah.
I would say probably the first 4 to 5 volumes are just really slow. Once you hit the Dawn Creek part,
I didn't. That's when I first got hooked on it, because like the first couple volumes I was like, yeah, it's interesting, but like but then once we got to the Dawn Creek stuff, I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this.
So when you get to that point, I would have to say I would give it a 6.5 to 7. I think the lowest I would give it would be a 6.5. It's definitely the most average arc in One Piece, I feel. It's definitely like, it's good, but it's not like the greatest arc in One Piece, that's for sure. So
but I think that's a fair score. Like it does the job, and there are a lot of great moments, but it does take a while to get going. But overall, it's enjoyable.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to probably the second best arc. I think it's not the second best arc.
Well, it's up there.
But
definitely
it's definitely top 5. I mean, let's put it this way. I thought Baroque Works was probably one. For one, you introduced probably one of my favorite villains in the whole entire arc, which is Crocodile. I love Crocodile. I think
fucking cool.
I think he is the most badass villain, and I mean he makes reoccurring roles throughout the entirety of One Piece.
Oh yeah.
And when he does, I mean, we'll get to it when we talk about that arc, but he has some badass moments. And in this arc, if you want to talk about a villain, just a pure evil dude who doesn't give a shit about anybody, he just cares about his own personal end goal, that is Crocodile. He is literally a beast in this arc, and I think the fight that was done between him and Luffy was really well done. As far as the other arcs go, or the mini arcs that take place throughout the Baroque Works arc, there's of course the, I guess one of the notable fights would be Zoro and Daw's Bones, or Number One. Or Mr. One.
Yeah.
That was an awesome fight. I felt that was definitely one of the more epic battles that occurred throughout the arc. The whole Usopp Chopper fight I felt was Nami's fight.
Well, I mean, Chopper, them finding Chopper was part of the arc too.
I see. I'm gonna be honest. Like you with Usopp, I think Chopper is my least favorite character. I don't care too much for Chopper, mainly because I feel he's there for comic relief. Like Usopp, he's there for comic relief, and to kind of lighten the mood of the whole setting, which I get it.
Yeah, he's definitely not my favorite. Like when I think of my favorite Straw Hats, I don't usually go to Chopper.
I'm complaining because it's funny because One Piece is definitely a lighthearted series and also a serious manga. Like it has its serious moments and then its lighthearted moments, but I don't know, I think the most I connected with Chopper was in Baroque Works, just because the arc was really well done. I loved the scenery in Baroque Works. There were just multiple islands, and we finally kind of get the grand scale of just how big the Grand Line is, and just the multiple...
The world just opens up, because when they get to Alabasta, which is like this massive country, and you're like, holy shit, this is...
Yeah, definitely. And so that's what I really enjoy about Baroque Works, is it definitely gives the full picture of the Grand Line and what islands are just ahead. So I felt that was really well done. Again, some of the fights aren't really too great in this one. It's the leading fight, which is the Luffy versus Crocodile one, that is well worth your time.
Yeah, like just the whole climax of this arc I thought was just fantastic. I think, and actually when I was reading it, it was the first time where I just binged like a shit ton of volumes at one time because I thought it was so good.
Mm-hmm. So there's like there's the I guess the introduction beat with Vivi, which honestly I don't know what Oda was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to introduce her as the newest Straw Hat member. That was definitely one of the possibilities there, but
yeah,
I wasn't feeling her. I thought she was just
like she was
She
alright.
was just kind of a pointless character. I don't like what they did. And then, of course, the final character to be introduced, which was
the
Robin.
Kung Fu Dugongs.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, I can't forget those. But Robin is sort of just obscurely thrown into the mixture, like, hey, can I join the crew? And Luffy's like, sure, why not?
I remember that. That was...
Fun fact, Robin is the only member that Luffy did not recruit. So, yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Of course, she doesn't really... I guess if you want to be technical, she doesn't really officially join the crew in this arc.
No.
But, you know, she's there.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to skip over Skypiea just because it's trash. But...
We gotta talk about it a little now.
But Baroque Works as a whole, I feel, is a solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Minus a fair majority of the fights. Crocodile and the Zoro fight were just that's another thing. So Luffy established a bounty at the end of East Blue, but it goes up at the end of Baroque Works, and then finally my boy Zoro finally gets a bounty just because he's a badass and he just kills so many people. And
the bounties throughout the series, it's like a good indication of like how much the characters have grown in terms of power and stuff. Yeah.
So the closest that Skypiea gets in terms of like hype level is like
the end. Like
no, the beginning actually. Is when they meet Dofi, and it's and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's got 100 million buried bounty, and like Doflamingo's like, oh, that's chump change. Like, fuck that shit. Like, who cares about 100 million berries?
I know.
And
this is other great foreshadowing because he really doesn't become a major villain until much later.
Yeah. But let's see. First off, the beginning is really solid. Skypiea just falls so short of like it could have been good. It didn't come out that way, and so Skypiea is just sort of this disaster. It starts off really well, and then finally when they get to Skypiea and they meet all these new characters, and then I forget who the enemies were in this one. Were they
there was Neru.
Well, Enel was the god dude, which he's more memorable
was his name in
as
the
a
manga.
villain, really. But he got screwed over by type weakness. Simple as that.
Yeah, so Skypiea, like I was of course excited when it first started, but after like they got up to the sky, I was like, oh my god. And then I spent like the next month like reading a chapter at a time because I got so bored. And then like I sort of got excited near the end because I was like, okay, it's finally gonna be over. And I'm like, all right. And then the ending, I was like, yeah, the arc wasn't very good, but at least the ending was sort of hype. And then I can't wait to see what happens next. And then we get to the greatest arc in any shonen of all time.
Well, first off, a rating for Skypiea. So like,
oh right.
I mean,
I don't think it was awful, but like it's like sort of 5 out of 10.
I think it's worse than East Blue. I mean, to be fair, I think Skypiea is just like a filler canon arc, and really that's what it is.
While it does have some things that tie in to the next arc, like not really much happens on it that connects to.
The only real story progression is the very last chapter where they come across the poneglyph which has the scripture from Gold Roger.
Yeah. And then there's some
Roger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then there's some stuff like their ship getting destroyed and them getting all the gold and stuff, but like that could have been done anywhere. So.
Yeah. So 5 out of 10 for me. It was definitely the worst arc.
Yeah.
By far, in my opinion. Moving forward, Water 7.
No, you're forgetting something. Very special.
That Foxy Pirate arc is part of Water 7.
Oh yeah, okay, I guess.
It is. It's part of Water 7. Anyway, so as they're coming down in the boat back to the ocean, we come across. Well, first off, the Aokiji fight happens first, I think.
Oh right, that was cool.
Doesn't that happen first?
It does.
So yeah, the Aokiji fight happens, and we finally kind of get a little taste of the power of the Marines, and so
yeah,
Aokiji is one
he
of
just
my.
Like fucks them up, like he freezes Luffy. And...
Oh well, yeah, he's easy. He's like It's like child's play. It was like a joke, anyways. Aokiji is definitely one of my favorite characters in the series. He's a super badass dude, but we sort of get this connection between him and Robin and all this stuff, and we later sort of get a little glimpse as to why that is. But now, after the Aokiji fight, we get probably one of the worst moments in a good arc, which is the Foxy Pirate arc.
Oh boy.
I'd like to consider it like its own separate thing, just because it sucks that badly, and it shouldn't even touch Water 7.
Yeah, it would drop like the Water 7 score down by a bit. So.
I don't really know too many people that actually like Foxy as a character. If you do, that's you. But
him, like.
But I mean, this arc was just—it was pointless. It didn't need to happen. It's just like
even you can argue like some stuff happened. At least some stuff happened on Skypiea that was important. This was just like, what the fuck?
It's trying to play in the whole world building concept that Baroque Works did so well, but it did it so piss poorly. It's like, who cares? Like, I don't care about Foxy. I don't care about these games that he's having. I don't care about Afro Luffy. I don't care.
The boxing match or whatever the fuck
it's
they did.
It's so stupid. Like, I mean, this guy was just such a waste of time. Anyways, I'm brushing it under the rug. Let's just get to the point.
Yeah,
Water
the best
7,
part about it was that it was pretty short.
Getting thrusted into Water 7, basically the Straw Hat crew, they got all this money. They got a ship that's basically a piece of shit. I mean, it's like in no sailing condition. So they go to probably the biggest shipwright city ever, which in this one we get probably a really cool, again, some really good emotional stuff. We get the whole Usopp Luffy fight, which we knew Usopp was going to lose the whole entire time, but we were going to. It was still interesting. As much as I hate Usopp as a character, like he's definitely one of my least favorite characters. The fight was still good.
I thought this was a good moment in the series. Yeah.
It was kind of like a breaking up of crewmates, and I guess if they would have stayed broken up, that would have probably made it better. But you know how it is. It wasn't like that, but again, in Oda fashion, he sort of found his way to write Usopp back into the story in a comedic way. So we get the Luffy and Usopp fight that happens a little bit. We get an introduction to our new character, which is Frankie, and he's all right. He's an all right character. He's
not my favorite. He's cool, but
he's there. That's sort of how I felt about him. And then we get the whole introduction to the Jesus, what were they called?
The Cypher Paul.
But they had like a name, didn't they? It was like Unit 10 or something like that.
I think Division 9.
Division 9 or something like that. Anyways, CP9. CP9, that's it.
Yeah, yes, CP9.
Okay,
there we go.
So we get an introduction to CP9 and Rob Lucci, which...
oh, boy.
A lot of people love Rob Lucci, but I'm going to be honest. I was not as attached to him as a villain as I was to Crocodile. Mainly because they gave us backstory on all the CP9 members. But again, the real main fight, though, is the fight between Luffy and Rob Lucci around this time around. Zoro's fight was okay. Sanji's fight was kind of not really a fight. It was just kind of a...
Yeah, didn't he just like give up? He's like, I'll never lay a hand on a woman.
Yeah, and then Nami steps in, which I don't really like her fighting style. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, she's not a fighter, which is fine, but
no, yeah.
But that was there. So devil fruits that were introduced into that arc were absolute trash. Like the focus was
my God.
The focus was like zone type devil fruits and
the
like
giraffe dude.
Like the animals that they transform into, with the exception of the girl who got I think she got a paramancia fruit, which was just bubbles and shit. But
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like, it was kind of a joke. Like, outside of Rob Lucci, no one really had a unique or cool-looking designed devil fruit. So, you know, Rob Lucci fights great. Again, Water 7 sort of peaks at this moment where it just has a lot of emotional tension. And we're not done with the end of the arc yet either, because even after the fight happens, like...
Ennis Lobby, yeah.
Like... Well, Ennis Lobby is sort of, you know, that's still Water 7. That's all Water 7.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
But finally, after everyone, you know, is beat from CP9, we sort of get the introduction to Garp, which
holy shit! Like this is to me like this, the volume that this happens is fucking incredible.
So Water 7 drops a huge ass bombshell like at the end with like the amount of like introduction it has to both Luffy's father. We get Robin's backstory. We get
Garp. Kobe comes back from East Blue.
We sort of get a little reminisce moment for when Zoro was captured and stuck in the marine place.
What else? Their boat dies. R.I.P. Mary.
Mary dies. They get the Thousand Sunny, which I don't know, flamboyant ship names, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean, the Garp speech itself, the whole introduction and everything like that was pretty cool. Usopp gets his redeeming light, I guess, for like wanting to come back to the crew, and yeah.
Oh, and also we forgot to mention it, but this is when Luffy unlocks his gear.
Oh yeah, I take that back. That was a good fight. That was between him and Bull. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Although
cool.
I felt like his devil fruit was a little like, he had a cool devil fruit. Like it was like doors to different dimensions. So like that could have been like a useful devil fruit, but like.
Luffy beats his ass.
Well, at the end of the day, it was speed, you know, over like being able to travel fast enough. So like, at this point, I don't think any of the CP9 members have hockey ability, and I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I think if they would have had hockey abilities, that would have been done. Like Jesus, but Luffy unlocks Gear 3rd, and fuck some bitches up, and that's Water 7. Now, Water 7 for a while, when I was reading One Piece, like, after Baroque Works, and, like, I was like, oh shit, Water 7's #1 behind, like, Baroque Works and shit. Like, this is a great arc. But it slowly, like, it decreased after that, because the amount of great arcs that happened after Water 7. So, for me, I guess my rating would be an 8.5 again. I give it an 8.5, mainly because, could deal without the Foxy shit. Some of the fights, again, are really underwhelming in this one. Outside of Luffy's main fight, which was really good. And, again, the more world building with Garp and other characters was also really interesting. So, 8.5 for me. I don't know about you, Gear. What would you rate it?
Like, if we're not... without Foxy, it'd probably be like a 9 for me, and I'd probably go 8 if we're including it. But yeah, like I mean, just because it came after like probably the worst part of the series, Skypiea and the Foxy Pirates, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is awesome. I don't know if I'd say it's as good as Baroque Works. I'd probably put it around on the same level. I think they're both really great arcs, and yeah, that's that. Thriller Bark.
So yeah, Thriller Bark, short and sweet, thank God. So this one. You know, unlike Skypiea, though, this one actually had interesting story moments. Now, as far as the battle between Gecko and Luffy, like, he was alright as a villain. Again, the whole theme around this one was sort of, like, dead people, but Zoro has some great moments in this arc, and I'll tell you why.
For sure.
Because not only does he get a better sword at the end of this arc, he finally gets a black blade, which I guess is, like, one of the strongest types of swords that you can get. And the guy who he fights is presumed to be one of the few legendary swordsmen that carried the weapon. And not so much like moments with the other Straw Hats, but I think Zoro and a few of the other Straw Hat members had a few light moments in this. So I'm going to skip all the way to the end of Thriller Bark, and then we'll come full circle and talk about some of the characters that are introduced. But Zoro has a really badass moment with one of the warlords, which
oh man,
I'm forgetting his name, Kuma.
Kuma.
With Kuma,
Wada, that was insane. That was nuts.
And he
and this is the first time we see Kuma, right?
I believe so. No, I take that back. So he does get foreshadowed in earlier volumes, but like
of course
very,
he does.
very, very briefly. Like he doesn't get any dialogue or anything like that, but he gets foreshadowed. So
and like he's like a robot or something, isn't he? He's like not the original.
No. So the Kuma that they meet is the original Kuma before the before the transformation. So Kuma at this point is getting cybernetic enhancements to become a robot. Cyborg being part human, part robot. So at this point he's still functional and he's still talking like he's normal for the most part, and. Basically, he encounters, the Straw Hats, and, Luffy's laying unconscious and everything like that. And basically, most of the Straw Hats are getting fucked over because they're just so weak after the fight with Gecko. So basically, Zoro steps up to the plate. He's like, hey, I'm going to pledge my loyalty to Luffy, even though I already did that in East Blue, which... I feel the impact of both that and this one definitely play a big significant role because, my God, Zoro is definitely pledged to the crew. And so...
Oh, yeah.
Kuma has a very interesting and distinct Devil Fruit ability. The Devil Fruits are really cool in One Piece. I do love the abilities that they do provide. We haven't talked too much about it.
I just love how you never know. I just love how you never know what you're gonna get. It's always
random. Like you could get a really badass one or just a real shitty one, but like
turn into a giraffe
or like a coat. Lots of coats, which is an ability. Fun fact, if you have not read that. But yeah, so. Basically, we get the fight with Kuma, and Kuma's basically his ability is the paw fruit, which I guess he can like transfer his paw into somebody, and I guess he can use his energy. He can absorb energy, and he can take out his own energy. So he's able to kind of send shockwaves with that, as well as he can teleport people. So.
Which plays a part later.
But yeah, so Zoro ends up surviving this sort of paw shockwave, and I mean he's standing bloodied and bent, and he's just a mess, and definitely one of the badass moments of One Piece. So Thriller Bark introduces a character which I like. Wish he would have had some more, maybe some better fighting. I guess you can say. I wish he was a stronger character, but. For a man who's like almost like I think he's 100 years old.
I mean,
he's old. No, he's not dead. Brook is not dead. So the way his devil fruit works is he has the soul fruit. So when he dies originally, which he can die once and then be revived. So technically he's still alive, but he's not. He died once. He got to his body too late, so there was no flesh or anything like that. He was just a skeleton, so he's still alive and he can still be killed naturally. He just doesn't have any real flesh or muscle. So
right.
But yeah, Brook. He's
an alright character.
I thought
again, he's not one of my favorites.
I thought his introduction and the way he connects with the One Piece universe was rather interesting. We finally got the context to who Laboon's crew was, which I thought was cool for the most part.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to ever come up.
Yeah, it's so weird. So it's like all these characters are connected with like other characters that we met so early on in the arcs of One Piece. Yeah. It's just like people give East Blue so much shit, but that was really kind of like it was like a mystery.
They were just setting up so much stuff for the
future.
A
mystery, and that's what I liked about it. So yeah, Brook was an alright character. The way he joins the crew is rather funny, because we always get the joke in One Piece, Luffy, this was back in East Blue, he's like, hey, when there was like 3 people, they're like, we need a musician, like, it was just a running joke, and finally now, like, late into the game, like 400 chapters later, finally they get a musician, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, so Thriller Bark, the end and the beginning, not so much the stuff when they're at fighting.
Yeah, honestly, I just saw it as like a fun little diversion, although it was a bit underwhelming considering we just got Water 7, so...
Yeah. So...
But, it was short. It wasn't
it was
awful,
very,
so,
very short, so it was like it only spanned really like four or five volumes, so nothing...
Unless you watch the anime, in which case... Holy fuck.
Yeah, no, screw that.
It's like 50 episodes.
Anyways, Thriller Bark for me, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It definitely had its moments, but nothing too exciting here. But good nonetheless.
Yeah, and I'll go a bit higher with 7. I wasn't bored with it. I enjoyed it enough, and but yeah.
Moving on to what's
Saboti.
Saboti. Yeah, this was a cool arc. I felt that we finally get an introduction to that Luffy is not the only like rookie pirate who is potential to actually reach
we get the rest of the worst generation,
the end of the Grand Line. So we get an introduction to Law, Captain Kidd.
Oh man, all these awesome characters.
Some really, really cool rookies, and then we get a moment where we finally get to meet. Jesus, what's his face? And I can't.
Jinbei.
No, we don't meet Jinbei in this.
Oh right, no, Jinbei's Impelled Down. Yeah.
But we meet Rayleigh, who is.
Oh right, yes.
Who is, of course, he's the first mate of Goldie Roger, and Rayleigh is a badass. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care how you put it. He's again one of the. Oda takes the cake for introducing just really unique badass characters.
Yeah, He's barely in it, and he's one of my favorite characters. And
another emotional scene in this time around was, of course, when they're talking about how he was, like the last moments with Roger, and how he was destined to just die, I guess. But really, really cool stuff. I thought this arc was really well done, and then my boy. At the end of the arc, Kizaru shows up and he just fucks everybody up.
Oh my
God. Going back to, again, we finally get an introduction to the three admirals, which of course we got Aokiji in Water 7, we got Kizaru in Saboti, and finally in the third arc, which I'll save. But yeah, so Kizaru is one of my... In fact, he is my favorite of the three admirals. He has one of the most OP Devil Fruit abilities, which is, of course, faster than the speed of light itself. Or he is light. He is light itself. So he's basically the speed of light. So that is a crazy ability. On top of that, I mean, he just screws everybody up. So around this time in Saboti, we get introduced to, of course, Rayleigh, and he gets a little brief fight with him for a little bit. But because Rayleigh's just, he's an old man, he can't really hold his own too much anymore. Well, he can hold his own, but he's just not super OP. Still some really great moments. And we finally get the big shocking moment, which is the Straw Hats finally, for the first time, being separated. In the arc, which, of course, spoiler, but everyone kind of gets sent off to their own island via Kuma's ability. So the whole Kuma fight, I guess, kind of gets screwed up, because I guess Kuma has a secret plan, which we'll go into a little bit later, and he sends all the Straw Hats away from each other. And Luffy, the luckiest man alive, gets sent to gets sent to like an all-female island. And my God, is this the introduction to Boa Hancock was just like good stuff. Boa is definitely waifu.
Oh yeah, best girl.
She really is. But that whole little side arc, I guess, was it was good for setup, and we finally come to find out that Ace. Which I guess it kind of deviates. A lot of people like Ace, and I completely looked over this. But when we were talking about Baroque Works, I didn't even mention Ace. But we get the introduction to him all the way back in Baroque Works, and he's basically.
And then he has the fight with Blackbeard. That happens like during.
It's the end of Water 7. It's at the end of Water 7. And man, we missed in Skypiea Blackbeard too. Introduction to him. But There's just so much to talk about One Piece because literally there's just so much stuff in the span.
I mean, we're 40 minutes in. We haven't even gotten to New World yet.
Oh man, see that's what I'm saying. There's just so much to talk about, and
I know.
Wow, but Ace, we finally come to realize that Ace is about to be executed. Now, the impact of this is pretty big because Ace is the second in command of the Whitebeard Pirates, which we didn't talk about the Four Emperors. We should have, because back in East Blue, they even teased the Warlords.
Oh my god, the series.
But yes, so basically the Four Emperors are the strongest pirate crews in the entire world. There's the Whitebeard Pirates, there is the Red-Haired Pirates, there is Kaido, and then of course Big Mom, who are the four main crews that are just dominant in the entirety of the world of One Piece. And basically, you fuck with Whitebeard, you fuck with everybody in part of his crew. So we kind of get the setup for the Battle of Marineford, but we got one more arc to go through, and that is Impelled Down. Which I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed, especially the scene when Buggy, Crocodile, and Luffy, and they're just like all standing there, and fucking Crocodile's like, "Give me a cigar," like, goddamn, like that moment was just like, yo, this crew.
And I mean,
was
just
awesome.
seeing them again was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. We get a little bit more hype into the Revolutionary Army, which again we got a glimpse into in earlier arcs of One Piece. But Ivankov, or I think that's how you say his name. Ivankov, is that how you say it?
Oh, that guy. I think so.
Yeah. We get Magellan, or again, I don't even know if I'm Magellan, I don't know. He's got an OP Devil Fruit, he's got the poison ability, and then...
that was nuts.
My god, I mean, Impelled Down was crazy, but this was definitely one of the times when it was fight or flight, and Luffy chose to fight in this one. I mean, he knew that there was no competition with this guy, because like, he was either be beat or not save his brother Ace, or So Bon Clay ends up sacrificing himself, staying back in Impelled Down while everyone else kind of sets sail. And so we get the whole Impelled Down crew. We got Crocodile, Ivankov, Buggy for some reason. Don't know why he's there. Apparently people really like Buggy, so I
mean, I just think it was cool that he's back. I don't really care
it was one of the lighthearted moments where I was like, oh, Buggy, yeah, the guy that we haven't seen in over 500 chapters, he's there, I guess. And then we missed Jinbei, which again is one of my favorite characters. I really like Jinbei.
Oh, yeah.
He is a OP warlord, and he is one of the fishmen. And fishmen were not really featured too much in One Piece at this given point.
Oh no.
We had in Water 7 the one mermaid, which, but...
Oh my god.
And then, of course, we had the Arlong crew in East Blue. But the whole introduction to the fishmen were like, oh yeah, they're these racist, like, or I guess, would they be racist? Species? I guess they're speciest. Because they don't like humans, and so we kind of get this idea that like the fishmen just don't like humans, and then Jinbei is like, I could care less. I like all people. Like, yo, like who cares? Ace is like the man, so we got to save him. So.
Oh yeah.
So again, Impelled Down sort of builds up for the next arc, which is the Battle for Marineford. And my god, actually, first let's give Impelled Down a score because I forgot. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Actually,
did we give Saboti a score?
Did we? Oh yeah, no, we didn't. Saboti is gonna get a 8 out of 10 for Boa Hancock because my god, oof, man, legendary. Impelled Down is going to get an 8 as well. I thought it was a good arc. It was, again, a quick arc. It doesn't last very long. I think it only spans about 2 to 3 volumes, and then at that point it's just shifted all the way down to the Battle for Marineford. So,
Yeah, for me, so Sabati's about an 8, and I'd probably go 9 for Impelled Down. Really enjoyed these arcs.
Yeah, just the reintroduction of like old characters was just fantastic.
Awesome
Couldn't ask for a better introduction, reintroduction, I guess, to these characters. But now we get to the Battle of Marineford, which I'm just gonna go out and say it. This is 10 out of 10.
I mean,
the height that it captures with the emotion, the fights that occur. I mean, we get... I can't even name them all. I mean, we get the moments with Mihawk and Crocodile. We get the Luffy. We get... What was the one giant dude? He was related to the one giant that we get to see in Thriller Bark, and I can't even think of his name at the moment. Yes. Again, a piece of emotion that was just... it was hype.
We get Shanks, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but man.
But yeah, I mean, the battle between Akainu and the Whitebeard pirates.
Garp is there, and and
Garp.
Luffy unlocks his hockey.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah, briefly.
And all the warlords are there. We get some more highlights with Mihawk, which again is really cool.
We get Luffy's backstory.
Yeah, briefly. We get kind of see the whole... And Ace's backstory and how he kind of comes...
Sabo and
why he's so important, I guess you could say. Well, that and also that he's the son of Roger.
Yeah.
Which was, I guess, shocking for me as a reader. I didn't expect that at all.
Well, yeah, because like I thought Luffy and Ace were, actual brothers.
Mm-hmm. Well, they tell you that in Water 7, though. Remember, Garp kind of elaborates that they're kind of like just adopted, kind of like they're not related or anything like that. But just like a big bombshell being that Ace is the son of Whitebeard. Ace is the son of Roger. And, Whitebeard hated Roger, I guess, in a way. Although I guess they kind of found their way to ally themselves. And they go into the whole Will of D and all that stuff, so...
And then Ace dies.
And yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better way to kill him off. I mean, the height of it was either going to be that or Luffy, and hell, if it's the main character, that would be crazy. I mean, I don't think Oda would have killed off Luffy, but let me talk about Akainu. So he, in my opinion, is the worst admiral. Not because of his ability, and not because of the way he
just doesn't get much. There isn't really much we know about him or anything.
I feel he's just a villain, Unlike Kizaru. Kizaru is just like a playful kind of marine. Like he's like, oh, do I got to do my job? All right. Akainu is just like he's an asshole. I mean, just put it simply. I mean, he's an asshole, which I guess rightfully so. He's a marine, so I mean, he's got to show some assertion and some authority, and he just really hates pirates, so he hates people that break the law, so I guess he fits the role perfectly. His ability is really cool, though. I really liked his Magma Devil Fruit. I think that he's definitely the height of the characters, which uniquely, all the admirals have their own sort of color coat. There's like, of course, Aokaiji's, ice ability, Kizaru's light, and then of course Akainu's red magma. All that stuff is just
cool.
Hype. And then of course we get the not necessarily the introduction, but the Fleet Admiral, which I can't even think of his name, but he's also really cool in this arc.
Sengoku, was that his name?
Yeah, Sengoku. Yeah. Which his ability is pretty unique as well. He carries his own type Devil Fruit, which is the Buddha statue, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny. And Whitebeard's crew. Whitebeard has a very interesting crew. I really enjoyed Marco's character. I like Marco as a character. He kind of gets his little moment of shine here and there. He fights Akainu for a little bit, and his Devil Fruit is, of course, a rare zone type, which this is when the zone actually becomes interesting, and he becomes a Phoenix, which I think was really cool. Going back to the whole unique factor to the Devil Fruit, really solid Devil Fruit. And then finally, Blackbeard makes his appearance, and Blackbeard is definitely going to be the final villain. I can't see I can't see it any other way that it has to be Blackbeard, unless for some reason there's a fan theory out there that confirms that Shanks is the real villain of One Piece, which I don't think is the case. But
no,
I don't know what Oda is planning, so.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. I was thinking, do you want to just split this into 2 parts? Because we're running pretty long. We haven't even gotten to New World.
This is going to be a part 2. I mean, I think the best way to end the podcast is we're gonna just end it at the final arc before New World, and which is basically part 2 of One Piece. I mean,
yeah,
the halfway point is literally the beginning of New World. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So. We discussed all,
which is volume 60.
We discussed all of this in the span of over an hour. I mean, it's crazy the amount of stuff. We didn't even cover the nitty gritty details about some of these arcs.
Oh man, I just Whitebeard's death. He goes out like an absolute badass. Holy shit!
Yeah, both Ace and Whitebeard's deaths were very impactful for this arc, and couldn't be praised enough. Anyways, I'm gonna because we're gonna be here all day if we just talk about it, because I mean there's just so much. We'll go ahead and do it when we do part 2, but I'm gonna give my final score for the arc 10 out of 10. Can't see it any other way. I love this arc.
This is honestly, it's one of the best arcs in manga I've read, and it's only like 3 volumes long, and it does so much in that short amount of time.
10 out of 10. So.
Crazy.
That's what I'm going to give it. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for staying. There's not going to be any aftercast in this episode. Maybe in part 2 we'll do an aftercast, but there's just so much to talk about, and we'll probably get a guest on for the second episode. But yeah, so
yeah, because this was sort of like a last minute decision. Taz didn't show up. He's still fucking playing Osu right now. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Jeez, that poor soul. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us this week on Manga Alert. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys still want to, join the Discord or communicate with us, feel free to look in the description and check us out. Anyways, guys, have an awesome one. Peace out.
Yeah, there we go. See ya.